Alright, we are going to start another project. This one's probably going to take a little bit of time. I have a slab of lace wood. It needs a lot of work. Obviously, I got to clean up all the live edge. There's some bark inclusions, things that need to be cleaned up. That's what I'm going to do today, and we'll just see where the wood takes us. Pretty confident these are going to fit, but you never know. Well, that little bit of work is all I have time for today, but at least I've got the kind of the rough dimensions laid out there. As you can see, it is going to be a river table. I have a love-hate relationship with them. I don't even know. I keep telling myself I'm never going to make another one, but here we are. And at least I can start getting a mold put together so I can hopefully maybe be ready to pour over this coming up weekend. I took a couple days off and went on a fishing trip, and I am back and getting back to work. I just put my mold together. It's probably one of the better molds I've ever done. I've got it siliconed, all the things. I took a little extra precaution because I'm going to pour it in my house. We'll probably be doing that a little later tonight. I've got to get the slab. It needs just a little bit more cleaning. I think it's about as clean as it's going to get. And then I need to cut it down to, to the size that I need it to fit in the mold. We're going to do that. I'm going to get it in the mold. Then I'm going to go prep my room with all the tarps and everything just in case there's a leak, which there shouldn't be. And we'll get the first pour. So I decided not to film the epoxy pour, though I'm not done yet. There's just not enough room in my little gear room here. Usually I open it up and make a lot more space, but I didn't do that this time. It's been poured for about 30 minutes. I've just got about a ½ inch in there, making sure I have no leaks. Then I'll pour the rest. I'll probably pour about 1.5 inches thick. System 3 river cast with black samurai pigment. So far it looks awesome. So we'll be sitting on this for, I don't know, probably 7 days. So we're gonna call that done for the day. I didn't get a lot done. I had to wait for glue to dry pretty much all day. I guess I could have started flattening the top, but I think I'm gonna do that maybe tomorrow night. I didn't want to continue with the legs back there because I'm gonna be doing some either dovetails or half blind dovetails. I haven't decided yet, but it's starting to chill off. I'm getting a little tired, and I don't wanna make any mistakes. So we're gonna hit it probably tomorrow with a good night's rest, and hopefully they turn out well. So I made a little mistake when I was laying this out, and I kind of marked, then cut the wrong line. So I got in a panic and finished one leg and wanted to put it together to make sure it was going to work. And luckily it did. It took a little finessing, a couple small little gaps. I don't know if you can see it in this lighting. I think when I get this finish sanded and some finish on it, I doubt it's even going to be noticeable. So the good news is now I can do the other one, and I think it's all going to work fine and look great. But we're going to do that another day. I got one leg done. I'm going to clean the shop and hopefully come back out tomorrow and get the other leg together so I can move forward with other things that need to be done with it. Alright, I got the second leg put together. That took me about an hour and a half. I took my time. I was a lot more patient with that one, double checked my layout lines, went together good. A little tighter fit than the first one, but overall, I'm pretty happy with it. So we're going to be moving forward. So I'm going to set the legs aside. They're almost done. They just need some final sanding, and I might add a couple things to them. I got the slab finally out of the house and out into the shop. It's been in that mold for probably 2 weeks, maybe even a little longer. I'm gonna get it out of the mold, take a look at it. I think there might be some cracks on the underside that need to be filled. If that's the case, I'm gonna fill them. If that is not the case, I'm probably gonna get it flattened. So hopefully that can happen today. I am on call at work, so we'll see. So my slabs came out of the mold pretty easy. I threw a quick little flattening sled, a router sled together, and we're gonna flatten this. It should go pretty quick and easy, but we're about to make a huge mess. Well, I got the most messy part out of the way. I've cleaned up a little bit and got most of that nasty sawdust and epoxy dust out of here. This is the bottom side. There's just a couple little checks and voids that I'm gonna use some CA glue and fill. Then I'll flip it over and start filling all the holes on the top. There's a couple little cracks that I might drop some epoxy into. I don't really know. I'll take a more thorough look when I get flipped back around, but we're gonna start plugging holes. Alright, so it has been a few days since I've been out here, but we're going to move on to the next phase of this little project. I've got some curly maple, some more walnut. I'm not going to film any of it, but we're going to get it milled down and cut to rough size, and then we'll bring it back and kind of start working through this thing. So I have got my panels, well, soon to be panels, milled, cut to a rough size. I have just enough to trim them to the size I want after they're glued up. To help to glue up the alignment, I am going to be putting some biscuits in these. I don't think I'm going to film all that again, and I don't think I have enough clamps to glue everything together. So this might be all I have time to do today, outside of some hand sanding on my tabletop. But, you know, it's just part of the process, so we're going to get the biscuits cut, start gluing stuff together, and we'll bring you back again, and then we'll start some of the funner work. So I got the two bigger panels clamped up. I did run out of clamps big enough, so I have the smaller panel back there. I'll glue it up here in an hour or two. So for the next hour or so, I'm gonna work on still finishing up the tabletop back there behind me on the bench. Got some hand sanding to do. I'm just gonna get it cleaned up and kind of ready for finish, but that's where we're at. So I've got the two big panels. They're sanded, not finished sanded, but to a point where I can move on. This is gonna be the sides of the little box that I'm gonna be making, and I noticed this when I glued this up. I don't know how. Obviously you can see by the paint, this piece of wood missed the milling process. This side is sanded, it's nice and flush. I've got at least a 1/16 of an inch right here. I don't even know how that happened. I should have fixed it last night and ran it through the planer, but I glued it up. I'm certainly not going to hand sand that down. I'm going to get a hand plane out and flush that up, sand this, then take some measurements and start cutting stuff up. Planing figure to maple isn't exactly my favorite thing to do. Yeah, those are pretty good shavings. I got a little bit of tear out, but the hand plane did a pretty good job. Luckily it was sharp. I'm gonna finish sanding this and move on. So I've got these panels kind of at a point where I'm gonna take a break. I don't really know why. When I cut the miters here, this one's got a dip in it. I did it on the track saw. I don't know if I just didn't have it set up right or whatnot, so I've got to fix that. I'm not gonna worry about that today. The bigger problem is this little side piece. When I was working it, a big old crack came out of it, and it runs dang near all the way through the wood. It got really flimsy, so I used some air and forced a bunch of glue in there, and I've got it pinched up, and I'm gonna let that fully cure before I even play with that thing. I'm not too super worried about it. I think once I get this all glued together, that shouldn't be a problem, but until I get to that point, that is definitely a problem. Kind of wish that didn't happen, but it's woodworking. You work with it. So I got the back cut to a rough dimension, and I'm going to take it inside. I'm going to look at what veneer I have, and I might make a template. I don't know, but we're going to take this party in the house and play around with some things, just some ideas. So I got to do one more pass on the router to fit the back panel. It's going to look like this. I messed up a couple different times. I had a really beautiful sunburst pattern, messed it up, and anyways, I settled on this mainly because I'm out of veneer. So I think it's going to look pretty cool once it's cut down to size, but I need to make the little groove there just a hair wider to compensate for the veneer. I'm going to do that now, and that's going to be it for the night. Alright, I've done one of my last final little assemblies before I start putting things together. I've obviously still got to build a drawer. I've got some more, we're going to stick to the theme here, more curly maple and walnut that I'm going to make a nice dovetail drawer there. But everything fits, it's level. I was going to put some leveling feet in there. I have them, but it's perfectly flat, which is weird. And it's not so much that the table needs the leveling feet, but sometimes the floor that you put it on isn't level. I don't think I'm going to put them on right now, but that's something that you can easily come in later and add them if needed. Obviously, I did some work off camera. I glued that thing up. I did some work last night. I did the glue up with the miter box. So anyway, yeah, we're going to get that base glued together and probably clean the shop, and I might finish this in the next day or two. So pretty much the last thing I have to do here is the drawer. Right now I am marking out dovetails, just kind of winging it. Alright, so I've just got one side done. I've still got a little bit to do, but I thought this was pretty cool. Let me get this in the right way. Look at that. Perfect fit. Perfect fit, no paring, no additional chisel work. Wow. And I'm pretty happy with that. If I get lucky, all the rest are going to go together the same way. I've got to take a little break and celebrate. I've got some coffee floating around here somewhere that I'm going to find. I'm just really surprised. I mean, that's certainly not my first time cutting dovetails, but usually I have to do a lot of, tweaking after the fact, and those came out perfect. So I would be surprised if the other three that I've got to cut do that, but I don't know. I'm going to take that as a win. If I have to fight the rest, that's fine. I got one win. Alright, this is my final glue up, and I'm really happy. It looks good. It's got a nice 3/8 inch Baltic birch plywood bottom. Everything just went together so smoothly. Usually I have to finesse dovetails, but these ones were just really, really easy. I'm happy about that. Well, my drawer is done. I don't have my poles on there yet, so I can't put it in any further, or it's gonna be hard to get out, but we're gonna get everything finished sanded, and then get my shop clean, and probably start finishing this thing. That camera battery's blinking at me. It's probably gonna die any minute, but I've got everything finished sanded and laid out, and we're gonna start doing finish. I'm gonna do the bottom of the tabletop first. For finish, I'm using Rubio Monocoat.